All right, let's talk about something every teacher knows all too well: classroom discipline and focus. Or, the lack of it sometimes. We're going to break down why students lose focus and how a really powerful 1-2 punch of smart planning and great pacing can completely change the game in your classroom. So let's just be honest for a second. Picture this. You turn your back to write on the board, or maybe you're fiddling with the computer to get a video to play. What actually happens in those 2 or 3 minutes? Because with a room full of teenagers, that tiny little pause, well, it can unravel everything. That moment actually has a name. It's called dead time. And it's this vacuum that just opens up the second your attention shifts away from the students. And what rushes in to fill that vacuum? Oh, phones suddenly appear out of nowhere, the chatter in their native language kicks up, and that focus you work so hard to build, poof, it's gone. And here's the really crucial part, kind of the hard truth of teaching. Once you lose their attention during that dead time, it takes literally 3 times the energy to get it back. It's this massive, exhausting uphill battle. So the trick isn't getting better at winning them back. It's designing your lesson so you never lose them in the first place. Okay, so how do we actually fight back against this dead time? Well, the answer is probably sitting right on your desk. And you might think of it as just, boring administrative paperwork. But it's not. Your lesson plan is your secret weapon. It's your blueprint for engagement, your shield. I'm serious. A really well thought out plan is your absolute best defense. And to make that defense really strong, we need to focus on 2 key things: a rock solid structure called the PPP model, and the secret weapon that makes it all work: classroom pacing. To get rid of dead time, you need a lesson that flows, right? An engine that just runs smoothly from start to finish. And the absolute gold standard for this is a model called presentation, practice, and production. You've probably heard of it as PPP. Let's break down exactly how it works. The real magic of the PPP model is how logical it is. It's built to slowly and intentionally shift the spotlight from you, the teacher, over to the students. It's a natural handoff. We start with you giving the input, then we move to some structured practice, and it all ends with the students completely running the show. So phase 1 is presentation. This is your moment. It's where you introduce the new vocabulary or grammar. Your teacher talking time, or TTT, is going to be pretty high here, because you're the one providing all the new information. But here is the golden rule, and it is so important. Demonstrate, don't just translate. Use pictures, act it out, draw on the board, whatever it takes to build meaning without just giving them the word and their own language. Okay, next up, phase 2. Practice. Think of this as the scaffolding stage, the training wheels. Your students get to use the new language, but in a super controlled, safe way, like a fill-in-the-blanks worksheet or a simple Q&A. Your job? Give incredibly clear instructions and then walk around and monitor. The main goal here isn't about being fast. It's all about being accurate. And that brings us to the grand finale, the whole point of the lesson: production. This is where your students take the language and use it freely to talk about their own lives, their own opinions. And your role here, this is crucial. You step back. You stay quiet. The goal is sky-high student talking time, or STT. You just listen, maybe take a few notes on errors to correct later, but you do not interrupt their flow. It's all about fluency now. Now, you could have the most beautifully structured PPP lesson plan in the world, but it can still fall completely flat without one more secret ingredient. And that secret weapon, the thing that brings it all to life, is pacing. Pacing is the rhythm of your class, right? It's this invisible force that literally manufactures attention. If you go too slow, you get boredom, you get phones. If you go too fast, you get stress and confusion. You've got to find that sweet spot that feels both urgent and super engaging.
So, how do we create that perfect pace, that sense of urgency? It's actually way simpler than you think. The single most powerful technique you can use is time limits. That's it. This one little trick is the key to instant focus. Just look at the difference here. On the one hand, you have, okay, guys, do exercise 3. What happens? The fast kids finish in a minute and get bored. The slow kids take forever. There's no energy. But on the other side, you have exactly 4 minutes. Your time starts now. That simple change creates a challenge. It creates focus. It creates energy. There's no time to get distracted.
Okay, so this all sounds great in theory, right? But it means nothing if it doesn't actually change what you do on a Tuesday morning. So let's turn all this talk into a concrete, actionable plan for your very next class. So here's my challenge to you for your next lesson. First, actually map it out on paper using that presentation practice production flow. Second, and this is huge, give every single activity an exact time limit. Write it down. Third, look at your plan and make sure students are doing things, not just sitting and listening. And finally, and this might be the hardest part, literally schedule time in your plan for you to be quiet during that production phase. The whole point is this. When you combine a logical structure like PPP with the manufactured energy of strict time limits, you design a lesson where there's just no space for dead time to creep in. I'm telling you, try this and just watch how those discipline problems start to fade away. I really hope this gives you a powerful new way to think about your lesson planning. But before you go, I'm really curious. When you think about those 3 phases, presentation, practice, and production, which one do you find the most challenging to pull off in your own classroom? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching.